Well, welcome back, YouTube. So this is actually episode 20, part 2. 20B is what I'm calling it. And in this particular episode, we are going to episode 20B, intro, take 2. Alright folks, carrying on with the saga, this is episode 20B, the second part in this series. And in this particular video, we are going to be running through smoke test part 1, and we're going to run through some demos of some of those branch circuit functionalities, specifically going through the functionality of the source selecting relays so that you understand how that's going. And with that, let's get after it. Alright everyone, it is the moment we've all been waiting for. It is time to do a smoke test. Let's turn this baby on. Here's my cutoff switch. Trip it over. I don't know if you heard that, but that's my max air fans beeping that they have power. Let's put some light on the subject. Boom. We've got power coming into the distribution cabinet with lights so that we can see everything that's going on. One of the reasons why this is the branch circuit bonanza is as you can see in here, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's wires everywhere, there's all kind of stuff, and I wanted to close out as much as I could so that I don't have to come in here with all of the battery power and stuff, dropping tools, things like that. I just don't want to mess with that. As you can see, I got my AC distribution panel cover on. Let me open that up if I can. There we go. Got all my AC distribution stuff in. I got them all labeled and identified. So that's in there. I got my 2 DC distribution blocks. I've got, so just so you're aware, so this fuse right here is my DC distribution block. This fuse right here is my DC to DC charger for the 12 volt side. The only thing that I have left is my MPPT and my inverter. And I was planning on waiting on that, but I think as part of the smoke test in this video, we're going to get both of them connected so that I'm done in here. Let's do some other things. So as you can see, I turn off my ground disconnect and all my green LEDs light up because I have no alarm conditions. Hit my switch, turn on my fans. I've got my alarms here, and if you look up front, I don't know if you can see it. Let's take a walk. Make sure you can. I've got alarms up here on my panel that correspond to the same alarms in the back. So let's go back to the back again. We'll kill my grounds, kill the fans. So one of the other things that I want to show you is this is my servo. It's got power. It's running right now. It's showing 99% with... It's adjusting because I had everything on, but it's saying right now I got 5 days. So there is my Redodo power monitor right there. Still showing I'm 100%, 400 amp hours. Probably a little bit less than that. One of the other things I want to show you, I put a light in my closet over here. Got that all taken care of. One of the other things that I want to show you, this little gadget right here is a USB to USB charger. So if I actually turn it on, boom, my phone starts charging. Gotta love it. I have several of those that I'm going to distribute throughout the bus and get those in place. I put that there so that I could charge my phones and stuff inside the bus while I'm working. So it works out really well. All right, so let's do some other things. So let's come back here and let's turn on a max air fan. Look at that, max air fan is on and working. I need to get that board out from across the front of it, but I'll do that at some other point. And if we walk up front and we go up here and we hit the power button up here, boom, max air fan comes on. The way that I've got this set up is that this one is pulling out, that one is blowing in, so it circulates the air this way. And I've actually tested this stuff when I have my little test battery in here, which by the way is no longer in here. I don't need a test battery anymore. But it actually cooled this bus down like about 5 degrees in about 30 minutes. So that works out really well. So 12 volt system is on. So let's walk through a couple of things. So if I come over here, boom, I got lights underneath the cabinet there for all my plumbing and all of that other stuff. One of the other things that I did while I was away is I went ahead and clamped and permanently mounted my tank senders. That's permanent. Got her all done. Coming over here, let me come up here. This is a 24 volt light. Oh, I don't have 24 volt on right now, but I got the same thing over here. Mounted my sender permanently and strapped in and secured all the wires. So that's all set and ready to go. I got 12 volt on, so let's do this. Look at that, guys. I got power to my stove. Check it out. Now I don't have any propane to it or anything like that, but I got power to it, so it looks pretty. Got nice red LEDs. I think that they're red because there's no propane, and I think that when I get propane on it and stuff, those red become blue. So let's come over here. So all this control panel stuff, this is all running off of 12 volts. So if I turn on this, that is my hot water heater. And if I hit the button, the water temperature right now is set to 114 degrees. And it works. I don't have any water, and I don't have any propane, but that works. So let's come over here. If I hit this, that is the voltage of my batteries. That's my lithium ion batteries, not my bus batteries. So that's the voltage there. Freshwater tank 0, which is where it should be. Because of the senders that I have, I had to do some manipulation to the tabs, but my galley is fresh too, which is the one underneath the 24 volt distribution. Gray 1 is a gray water tank. Black is going to be the other gray water tank. And if I hit those, you'll see they're open because these senders are not in. One of the other things that I want to show you is I got my pump switch off of the sea level wired in, and I'm really impressed with this because it's really quiet, and I was quite impressed. So I don't know if you can hear it, but it's really quiet. It is a run dry pump, otherwise I wouldn't do that, but I think that putting that foam underneath helped out quite a bit. As soon as I get the cabinet locked down, which I'm probably going to do next, I'm going to clean up all that wiring and get it all routed and sorted and all of that stuff and make it nice and pretty, but I didn't want to do that until I got this cabinet locked down. My propane fittings are tight on the back. My electrical is done. Propane and electrical is done on the hot water heater. I think one of the next infrastructure things that I'm going to do is put in my propane detectors and actually energize the propane system and make sure that everything works there. I'm also going to wire up all of my AC electrical circuits and get those in place. so that I have power. When it's all said and done, for the most part, the only constant load on the AC side for the 12 volt system for this inverter right here is going to be the refrigerator. And then anything that may or may not be plugged into or operating on the plugs that I have scattered throughout the bus. But if nothing's on, the only constant load will be the refrigerator. So smoke test on this side is done. Everything is up and running. Excuse me. So one of the things that I want to do, since we've got 12 volt on, is let's go back up to the front of the bus and let's look at these source selecting relays, and I want to show you how that works. So right now I am exclusively running off of solar power, or solar batteries, lithium ion. So if I turn this on, you can see it lights up and it's reading the battery voltage of my battery bank on the 12 volt side for Life P04. If I hit this, all my dome lights come on, all the way from front to back. If I hit this, I don't know if you can hear it, but that's my reverse alarm. If I walk to the back of the bus, you can see the glare on the door, or maybe you can, I'm not sure. But if I step out, reverse light there, reverse light there, and then I've got my two side ones right here, and my alarm is on. So that's that. And they're all running off of my Life P04 house batteries right now. So the next one is my strobe lights. So if I turn those on, you can see right there in the dash that, or in the reflection off the windshield, that those are working. And if I walk back to the back again, if you'll bear with me, I'm glad I cleaned this up, otherwise this would have been a nightmare. Anyway, so coming back here, you can see I got a little one right there. I've got one up top there. And if we look down this way, I've got strobe lights that are on the side of the bus as well. Was one up there, and on the other side, they're all in exactly the same place. So these are all running off of house batteries right now. So now the last part of this is so at this particular point in time, I've got dome, I've got backup, I've got strobe. Now let's hit security. So if I'm on house batteries, when I flip that switch, I'm doing security, and look at that. There comes my camera system. It's setting up and booting up and all of that kind of stuff. One of the biggest challenges that I have with this that I've got to figure out, and I'm just going to have to deal with it probably because of the way this is set up, because I can't set a constant power source from one side or the other because of the switching. But every time this powers off, everything resets. So if I'm going to use this, I'm going to have to reset the time and date and all of that every single time. But as you can see, front camera right there, back camera right there. This is my left turn, right side. So I can see all the way back to the back of the bus. I've got full 360 degree coverage. The only thing that I'm missing is basically from my exhaust pipes to the front bumper. That's a blind spot in the bus based on where the cameras are. So I've got everything on right now on the 12 volt side. I don't have anything right here, but if I flip it on, nothing happens because there's nothing there. One of the other things that I'll show you, if I come here, this is a horn switch. And then I go over here, this is another one, this is my Dixie horn. and all of it works. Everything is in place, so all of that stuff is good. So now what I want to do, I've got my dome lights on. Let's go see what I am actually pulling. So I've got everything on right now that runs off the 12 volt distribution. And if you look, I am pulling, according to Redodo, 15 amps. According to Servo, 14.8 amps, so they're the same. So right now I'm pulling about 15 amps. I've got both max air fans on high. I've got all of my strobe lights on. I've got all of my dome lights on. I've got my backup lights on. And I've got my camera system on. And now if I were to hit my fans, jumps up to about 20 volts. Turn on my relays, which mean nothing. So I'm still less than 20 volts with, at this particular point in time, or 20 amps, I'm sorry. I'm less than 20 amps with everything that I currently have installed in this bus that runs off of DC on. Everything. So, actually, let me turn on my charger. Yeah, I'm still less than 20 amps even though I'm charging my phone. So, everything that is currently installed DC that is running on 12 volts is on less than 20 amps. So, I am really happy about that. So what I want to do now is I want to come up here and I am going to turn the key on. As you can see right here, turn the key on. Please note that the camera system didn't change. Strobe lights are still on. You can still hear the backup lights back there. Dome lights are still on. So what I'm going to do right now, just so I can show you that it's running off of bus power, is I'm going to trip my breaker. Now the reason that that happened is because I do not have this in reverse, so it killed my reverse lights. But had I had it in reverse, that would have stayed on. So now, with everything going on, if I turn the key off, keys off, notice panel dies, strobe lights are out, camera's out, everything is out. It is back on house power, but it is disconnected. If I turn this on, everything comes back on. Source selecting relay, guys. I can run all of those circuits off of either house power or battery power. And that's the 12 volt side. So let's shift gears and start talking about 24 volt. None of this matters for 24 volts, so we're going to turn it all off. So let's do the smoke test on the 24 volt side. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my fans. Don't need them on. Don't want to run the batteries down prematurely. Alright, so all that stuff is off. As you can see right now, I am back down to 1.4 amps. Oh, I know why. Because I'm charging my phone and this closet light is on. Turn that off. Turn that off. And I'll be less than an amp. Oh, I got this one on too. There we go. Less than an amp. That's normal state of charge. That's the parasitic loads from the Servo GX and the Smart Shunt. 0.4 amps. Alright. So that is the 12 volt side. So let's go over here. Here is my disconnect. Let's turn it on. That's the other thing that I wanted to show you is, if you notice, the LEDs on my Lynx distributor are working. So that functionality is working. I do have a single fuse in, and so that LED is not on. Once I get all fuses in, those LEDs will go off, and there is this one in the center will turn green. Coming over here to this side, I'm not seeing them. I'm gonna have to check that out. Those LEDs should be on too because I've got the bus energized, but I'll have to check that out and see what's going on there, because those should be on, because I am on. So not sure what's up there, but I'll check that out. Anyway, so going into this, notice that the display comes up on the Servo GX, says I'm at 100%. I have no DC power. Victron Energy, my inverters are off. I actually have two. When I actually get them installed, there'll be two of them there. Shows my AC loads, my AC input. I did check this last night. When I actually start the bus, I actually get charging into the system. So you can actually see it coming in the other way. So looking into here, so you can see that I've got my servo over there. Everything's blinking on that. Smart shunt, everything's blinking on that. I don't need to have power on for that. Actually, I do, because the servo is powered with the disconnect on. And I've got my DC to DC charger and my solar over there. The solar doesn't have power. So part one of the smoke test is to actually install the fuse and get power to the MPPT on both sides. So I think we're going to do that next. Oh, I know what I want to show you. So coming up here, 24 volt light there, 24 volt light there, kitchen circuit, and this represents the front area circuit. So got both of those up and running. Everything is good there. What else can I tell you about? Oh, I think that about covers it on this. One of the things that I do want to share with you, though, and I'm experimenting to try to see which one I like best. So if you look at the Servo JX screen here, this is what is called the classic user interface. Goes through a bunch of different screens, things like that. And then you can tap it, go to menu, and run through. This is the device list. So there's my compartment temp. Sorry. Compartment temp, it says 72. That is being read off of this temperature sensor right here. Battery temperature monitors, I got to fix that. That's because those other ones that I used were incompatible. So as soon as I get the right ones, that'll all be functional. So come back to pages. There's a lot of setting screens and things like that. One of the other things that I can show you too is if I do this, notice my compartment temp and my battery temp are on and no alarms. And that's because they're running off of the DC distribution from the main batteries and stuff. The problem that I have at this particular point in time is that my MPPT and my inverters, the lights and LEDs for those are getting power directly from the inverters. So until I have power to the inverters, none of these are going to light. But I'm going to fix that by putting power to the inverters. The other thing is, if I hit this, my compartment temp fan and my MPPT fan comes on because they're coming from different sources. If I look up there, I've got an LED lit up. I don't know if you can see it. Let's go ahead and walk up so you can. You can see that my MPPT LED is actually lit. I should have two. I don't know why it's not working. I'll troubleshoot that. But anyway, so always something. Always trying to troubleshoot and fix stuff. So turn off the fans. So there you go, guys. All of the circuits work. I'm really happy with it. I haven't had any smoke, any fire, any shorts, anything. That makes me happy. And I think that at this point, what we're going to do is do a smoke test and get the solar charge controllers online on both sides. So in doing that, I'm going to go ahead and kill power on both sides. And go ahead and turn these up. And we're going to put the fuses in, turn it back on, see what happens. So let's get her done. All right, everyone, I'm back. So I did want to let you know that the battery on my GoPro died, and so I took care of some other things. So I wanted to let you know that my can't see it because it's dark, but my tank sending units are permanently installed, and I've secured the wires on this side. Come over here, maybe you can see it a little better, but I've got my tank sender on this side. Wires are permanently installed and secured. So I took care of that while I was waiting for this battery to charge. One of the other things that I did, coming over here right now so that I don't have to show you. So I put the fuse in because the battery was dead anyway, and I just went ahead and jumped the gun. Got that in just so you're aware. So the way that that works is the fuse goes on the bottom, then you have a washer, lock washer, and a nut, and the lug is sandwiched in between the fuse and the washer. So I did that on this side. Coming over here, I did that on this side. The only fuse that is missing on this side is my inverter. I also figured out why my LEDs weren't working on the Lynx distributor here, or at least I think I do. I'll find out when I turn power on, because I haven't done that yet, but I didn't have a fuse in. So I think we got that squared away. We'll figure that out when we turn power on. I think what we'll do is we'll do the 12 volt side first. I need to get power on it so I can get lights on the other side as well. And let's see what we can get done. So the first thing I'm going to do is flip the switch. Let me get rid of this little flashlight. We'll turn the switch on. Get some light on the subject. And if you notice, my display on the solar charge controller is on. My LED light is blinking right there for Bluetooth. I need to give it a few minutes to sync to the battery voltage, and it's reading 13.3. And if I come up here on my Redodo, it's 13.2, and on here it's 13.27, so 13.3. All right, there is no charging going on, so everything seems to be stable. Everything seems to be okay. One of the things that I want to do at this point is bring in my trusty phone over here, and we'll do a firmware update. So if I go into my bus apps, turn on Victron Connect, and let's see if we can find it. Run smart, smart battery, smart shunt, smart. There it is, smart solar, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, damn. All right. I've got to figure out what the pin is for this. There's a sticker on this thing somewhere. Then I need to find and get the Bluetooth pin off of it. They used to do 6 zeros, but now they're assigning unique pins to everything. So give me a second. Let me figure that out. All right, I got her done. I had to manipulate my camera and get back there and take a picture of that decal and get that pin, but As you can see, there is the Smart Solar MPPT charge controller on my Victron Connect app. It is registering with the VE can. One of the things that I want to show you, it's kind of difficult, but if I come up here and I hit this, there is an update available. So if I hit update, it's really hard to do this, guys, I'm sorry. And then I hit update, runs through and goes through the firmware update. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's processing firmware update. All of this has to happen through Bluetooth through the phone. It makes a connection out and downloads and updates the firmware on everything. I've done that on everything. The only thing that I haven't done is the inverter, and it is updating. I don't know what this little window right here is, but I'll have to figure that out. Seems to indicate there's a error on something, but I don't know what it is, so I'll figure that out. But the firmware was updated, so if I continue, my Smart Solar is there. So 12 volt side, hit that again, check and make sure. I do want to enable that because that allows me to very quickly identify voltage. Looks like there's another update. There it is. Alright, I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm going to continue to check firmware updates and stuff. Alright, well, I got all the firmware updated. I got everything pretty much set up. I've got to go do some research and figure out how to set up my relay, temperature monitoring, all of that on the MPPT. But smoke check good. It is up and operational. So at this particular point in time, we're going to switch over to the 24 volt DC side. We're going to turn it on. We're going to do the same thing over there. So let's get after it. So as we already said over here, fuse is in. Everything is set. So we're going to turn it on. I do want to point out that all the LEDs and stuff, I figured out what was going on the other side. I had the bad connection on a wire. I fixed that, so all that's working over there. I'll show you that in a second. But at this particular point in time, you can see that my controller display is coming on. I got 26.6, no charging. Everything is working. Watching my LEDs. Letting everything stabilize, letting it read the voltage, letting it stabilize and stuff. I'm going to try to set this up so I can show you a few things that I had to do on the other side so you can see how that works. But one of the things that I needed to do, if you notice these LEDs right here, there is a rotary switch under here that determines the type of batteries. So I need to basically rotate that thing until I get it set to position 7, which is life PO4, and I can tell that by the way that those lights blink. Alright, so bulk and absorption, nope. Bulk only, nope. Absorption and float, nope. Absorption only, nope. Float only, nope. Bulk absorption and float fast, nope. Bulk absorption and float slow, that's it. Position 7. That's what I want, live PO4. Now that all of that stuff is in place and set up, there are a couple of things that I need to do that I did on the other side. First thing I need to do is install my remote on-off thing. That goes there. Then I need to install my VE can termination block. And then I need to install my VE can cable. Now this thing is connected into the VE network. And give it a second and it should register. Alright guys, I'm going to have to shut this down, figure out that pin so that I can do the rest of the stuff, but there's a label over here somewhere that I need to try to get a picture of so I can get that pin off of it, because it is not the default 6 zeros. So I'll be back. Alright, so I got the charge controller. I finally found a way to get that pin. Got it updated. Had to do 2 firmware updates on it. Got it all set up. The one problem I have right now is it's not showing up on my Servo GX. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I think it might have something to do with the fact that I have 2 inverters in the path on my VE can going back to the Servo. So because of that, I am going to actually change plans, and we are going to get power on the inverters. So at this point, I'm going to kill 24 volts, and the saga continues. At this point, so my battery on my GoPro died mid-sentence, so I think this is a good stopping point on this video. We're going to break it here and carry on in the final episode of this saga, which is episode 20C. So with that, we're going to call it a wrap, and let's move on to the next one.